Thanks for having me here. I'm gonna just tell you guys our story a little bit. So as Craig mentioned, my husband and I own Gabi and Jules Handmade Pies. We opened the bakery 2.5 years ago. We also own Caffe Divano, which operates 3 cafes in Coquitlam, Port Moody, and Burnaby. And our road to being an inclusive employer actually started with an interaction of a really great customer in Port Moody, and he was telling me about his company, SAP, and how they have this mandate to employ individuals on the autism spectrum. And I was like, that's so awesome, and it kind of triggered something. So I think that my takeaway from that, and something that I think is so important, is the pride that you have in being part of an organization that has inclusive hiring practices. So with that, and then also the fact that we did name the bakery after our daughters, and Juliana has autism, and we are living and breathing that reality and the isolation that comes along with that journey. And we really wanted to have an intention behind what we did at the bakery, that it would be an inclusive space that would create opportunity for individuals on the autism spectrum. So that's what kind of started. It was very intentional. We put that out in the community, and we're immediately had a lineup of people that wanted to be employed, particularly moms that were just like, you're gonna employ all of my kids, right? And we had to kind of navigate that, and we've had so many challenges and learnings as we've gone along, more than I can cover in 5 minutes. But I really wanna just touch on a couple parts of our journey and how we've navigated the challenges and made connections in our community. That's a big takeaway that we've had, is making meaningful relationships with the agencies that have helped place and support the individuals that work with us. I'm going to just show you a couple of these lovely people. So we have found a way, the people have touched on the labor shortage, and we've had significant challenges trying to find people to fill roles in our organization. We posted for bakers for 8 months, and I had no applications. So we really had to get creative as far as how we were going to fill these gaps in our organization. And so carving out jobs and looking at how we can find aspects of what we do to find individuals to fill them. And part of that was dishwashing. We're like, okay, if I didn't have to have the bakers washing dishes, I'm gonna get more productivity out of them, and then we're gonna be able to create opportunities. And so dishwashing has been a big part of it. You can see Alex on the right there is one of our newest members of the team, and that smile on his face is there every single day he shows up, and he shows up an hour and a half early to work. And we'll tell you thank you probably about 10 times until you tell him, okay, thanks Alex, that's good, carry on. He's a ball of joy, and it's so tremendous that he fills a need. He is so proficient at the dishwashing. We're like, well, you can do more than this. So he's also now he's a baker's assistant, so he can roll cookies faster than anybody. It's tremendous to see, again, just what those diverse abilities are, and it's giving them the opportunity to show those. Ryan is another great example. He came to us actually when we first opened the bakery, and he's pretty much nonverbal. So he comes with his support worker, Emily, and in his previous role, he was also in a bakery, but for 3 years, all they would let him do is slice bread. They never gave him an opportunity to do anything more than that. And we discovered that was a complete waste of his skills, because he's just tremendous, and again, can scoop cookies, but he cuts out cookies. That's his favorite job, which you can see the smile on his face. It's like he loves scooping cookies. But comes in very, dedicated to what he's doing, and very focused, and that's been a tremendous win as well. And this is going back to the beginning, where we were looking at where there were gaps, and one of the things that we do is we sell pies. So we need pie boxes built, and this is a job that most people would find incredibly tedious and boring. Aaron, on the other hand, loves it, and he can build 100 boxes in an hour, and he comes in and he's ready to go. And I think that all my examples and just these reflections of the smiles that you see on these individuals' faces, they bring that energy, and it's infectious to the team. The pride that people have in working alongside and being supportive of these individuals is tremendous. It is not without its challenges, and I think that my colleagues are going to speak to the opportunities in our communities to reach out to the agencies that are there to support and continue to provide ongoing support. Our delivery driver, who's in his picture there, is a great example of those challenges, and we've gone a long journey with him. He's been with us since day one, and we've had to navigate how do we not only provide job coaching support, but also behavioral support, because he's an individual that never had behavioral intervention, because at that time there was none available for kids. We made some strides in this province. I'd say as a parent with autism, we have a long way to go, but we try to find ways that we can support Conrad to be successful. And we were like, how do we grow his role? Because his goal is ultimately to live independently, and he needs a full-time job for that. And so we found that he's very good at cleaning, and so he loves that. It was a bit of a shock to us. And so he is able to grow that diverse abilities that in our organization. And so, and again, just navigating those supports that are there has made a huge difference for us. And so I like to go back to the beginning and just say that, like, you know, we like to share our example of our story, because as a small business, we can carve out opportunities and we can be creative in what we do. And I think that is certainly an opportunity that is in every organization. So thank you for your time.